Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Today we'll be unboxing the XTS F10 from Rlaarlo. Now this one is a 110 scale rally car and it's available in two versions, a carbon fiber and a alloy version. It's a ready to run model and here's how the design of the box is. The graphics is quite attractive. .110 scale, 4-wheel drive, capable of 50 to 80 kilometers per hour. Here's how the alloy version looks like. And this particular model is based on the Omni Terminator platform. With the carbon fiber version, which I have today, we get a 60 amp ESC and a powerful motor. So let's unbox it and see how the model is. So first off, we have this accessory bag. So we have some tools, the instruction manual and some stickers. We'll take a look at this at the end. Next up we have the radio transmitter. Now this one is a rebranded version of the Dumbo RC radio. Dumbo RC radios are actually good in quality and this is no exception. The steering and throttle feel smooth. To power this radio you can use 4 AA batteries or a 2S LiPo battery as well. Here we can see some specifications of the radio. So the model name is X5P350. So it has 350 meters of range. The only downside of this radio is that the steering wheel is not accessible with the thumb, so you won't be able to operate the car with one hand. Now the model is actually zip tied, so we need to cut that. And what a lovely start we have. I just hope it's alright and nothing is broken as such. Here on the bottom we can see how beautiful the chassis is. And first thing, I can feel that the model is heavy. After all, it has an aluminium chassis and metal parts in it. The size of the model is a proper 110 scale, so thumbs up for that. Now this time Rlaarlo have offered clipless body mechanism on this. So we have this latches on the side to lock and unlock the body. So you can mount and remove the body with these latches over here. And there's one more latch on the front. And you can lift the body shell. Here we can see that the body shell is relatively big in size, so it gives that 1/10 scale size to the car. And the body is absolutely beautiful. Let's remove this plastic film. And just look how gorgeous the body looks. The paint scheme is absolutely fantastic. The suspension feels plush and soft, as expected from Rlaarlo. Now here the body is actually secured with a hinge at the end, so you don't have to remove the body shell completely. Here we can see the light control module. So since this model has functional lights on the front and rear, as you can see, and there's bulb for the exhaust to give that glowing effect, which we'll see at the end. Here we can see the suspension in action. Here on the front we have a foam bumper, and the plastic on the bumper is also quite hard and durable, but it's also flexible, as you can see, so it will absorb the impact head on. Now here we have sway bars on the front, carbon inserts on the lower arm, and you can adjust the mounting of the suspension. And the suspension is completely adjustable, so you can stiffen the suspension or keep it soft. Here we have a thick 70/75 aluminium shock tower, and it's quite chunky. The arms, as you can see, are quite thick, so the quality is top notch. On the side we have these additional guards or bumper, you can say, which will absorb some impact from the side. Here we have the center chassis brace, which is in carbon fiber. With the metal version you have this in aluminium. Here we have the receiver box, and this one is the 60 amp 3S ESC. It's a good ESC, but you cannot program it as such. Here we have the on-off switch. If you want, you can mount the ESC over here. So if you want to use a longer battery, you need to relocate the ESC on this plate, and that way you can install a bigger battery. And the mounts for that are included in the accessory bag. Here we can see we have the same 2200 mAh 35C rated 3S battery that we get with the Omni Terminator. It's more than sufficient to power this ESC and motor combo. Over here you can see we have a center drive shaft, which is also in metal, so it connects the center differential and the front differential, and you can tune the differential as per your liking with the appropriate diff oil. On the motor we have this heatsink with a cooling fan. Now here we have a 3650 size brushless motor, which is rated at 3300 kV. So the kV rating is slightly higher than the Terminator, and that's expected because this is a rally car. Now here we can see we have an extra receiver box towards the motor, so you can utilize this if you decide to mount the ESC on this plate over here, so that way you can have the receiver very close to the ESC. Similarly, on the rear we can see we have an aluminium shock tower just as the front. Overall the design is very well laid out and balanced. The cover for the pinion is also covered, so there is no gap, which we had on the Omni Terminator. And at the rear we can see we do have sway bar as well. If we flip the car, we can see the aluminum chassis, which is beautifully etched and has this design. With the XTS badging, and along with this tear up the dirt tagline. The chassis feels premium and top notch. Let's talk about the tires. So here's how the tread pattern is. Now these tires are actually designed towards pavement and on-road use. Not sure if these will perform well on an off-road surface. I wish there was a dedicated off-road tire for this particular model. And here we can see that there's plenty of gap for the wheels to travel in the wheel arch. So there won't be any contact as such between the wheels and the body. Suspension, as you can see, feels perfect. And it's really plush, so I really like that. The body, as you can see, is a bit flexible from the side. It's a polycarbonate body with 1.2mm thickness, so it should not break that easily, but we'll have to test that. Let's install the battery and fire up the car. Turn on the radio transmitter from here. The steering feels quite responsive and fast. No complaints as such. This is how the car sounds, but one thing that I noticed straight away is that this particular wheel is not balanced, so you can see that it's wobbling a lot, whereas the other wheels are alright. The tire may not be glued well on the rim, and that's why it's out of balance. Now let's talk about the radio a bit. So with this switch you can control the lights, and this particular model has 2-stage lights on it, so you can turn them on. We have the high beam and then off. You do have functional indicator lights on the front and rear. Here you can see how bright the lights are. Under the top cover of the radio we have some adjustment knobs for the trim and dual rate. And you also have this channel 5 knob, so you can control the gyro sensitivity from here. So because this is a rally car, you do have a gyro in the receiver built in, and that will help you with some drifting and speed runs, so good to see this. Lastly, we have some dip switches over here, which you can use to reverse the channel direction. Overall the radio feels good, and it's a Dumbo RC radio after all. It has good range, but I personally like this Dumbo RC X6 radio. It's easy to control with one hand, and it's almost identical in size. Let's take a look at the accessory bag. So here we have the instruction sheet for the XTS F10. In here you will have all the information, such as the exploded view of the car and the parts list. So you can refer the manual for any assistance or help. Next we have this pamphlet with some upgrades. If you want to modify the car, you can install these. And here we have some guide for the stickers. These are the decals or the sticker sheet which you can apply on the shell, and some more stickers. A USB charger. This charger is actually quite handy if you want to charge the battery in a vehicle when you're traveling, but I would recommend you use a dedicated charger. 2 long velcro straps. So if you want to use longer battery, you can use these, but you'll have to use these mounts to modify the battery bay. I've covered this for the Terminator. If you're interested, you can check this. And in this pack we have some Allen keys, a cross wrench, and a high-speed pinion gear. And lastly, there are 2 zip ties. Let's remove the wheel and see how it is. As you can see that the wheel is vented. It has a hole over here, but in terms of quality, especially the plastic quality of the rim, I'm not that positive. It feels a bit on the cheaper side. The tires have the Rlaarlo branding on them, and the tires are actually directional. Here we can see we have a plastic hex hub, and these are 12mm in size. Now just for reference, let's compare the size of this with some other models. So here I've placed it beside the MGX 14302, which is a 14 scale rally car, and here the size difference is quite evident. Next up, I've placed it beside the Omni Terminator. Almost identical in size, it's just that the Terminator is slightly wider and the XTS F10 is longer. Next up, I've placed this beside the MGX 10208, again a proper 10 scale RC monster truck. And lastly, the EMB monster truck from LC Racing. So that's all I had to share in this video, the XTS F10 from Rlaarlo. It's a solid product and I do like it. If you found this video helpful and informative, please do subscribe and like the video. Until then, thanks a lot for watching.